Hey geeks, it's Andrea. I go through a lot of trends with what kinds of games I'm playing at any given time. But right now, I'm really into survival games. I absolutely love them. Just in case you don't know what we're talking about, in a survival game, you're dropped into a world with pretty much nothing and have to build yourself up from scratch, making or finding your own tools, bases, and materials. I'm pretty excited for this one. There isn't a game on this list that I wouldn't highly recommend to any of you geeks out there. Alright geeks, let's go.
5. Subnautica.
Let's start this out on a really high point. Subnautica is undeniably one of my favorite games at the moment. I know some people are a little scared of games in early access, but I think all of the games on this list are actually still in early access. I wouldn't let that hold you back from, well, any game that you really like, but specifically this one. It is already higher quality than a lot of full releases that I've played in the last few years. Some of the enemies in this game can be incredibly terrifying. I've found that often in underwater games, I get a little creeped out just from being in the water, which is not a bad thing in this case. You should be creeped out. You are in this gigantic alien world as a lone survivor after a crash, using solely what you can create from what you find around you, mostly underwater, to survive. The dev team has stated that they have no interest in adding multiplayer to this game, which is actually not very common for a survival game because so many people do want to play with their friends. And while I would love to get a friend or two in the game with me and create this great undersea base together, it would kind of defeat the purpose of the game. That being said, I can't deny that I would dance for joy if they gave in and added it.
4. Rust.
As far as survival games go, I would have to say that Rust is one of the most straightforward of them all. What I mean by this is Subnautica is the undersea survival, Osiris is space, and Ark has dinosaurs. And there are so many zombie ones out there. Rust is straightforward in the sense that there's no obvious, I guess you could say, gimmick, which isn't a bad thing either way. There were a few zombies at one point, but they're not in the game anymore, which I feel is a good thing because Rust just doesn't need it. There certainly is plenty to keep you occupied. Rust has some great multiplayer servers that you can hop into, or you could even host your own, which is what I always do. There are some people that RP in this game, and there is a large group of players that will, well, they'll destroy the hell out of you and take everything that was yours. It's all in good fun and part of the game, but if you don't want that, definitely set up your own server.
3. The Forest.
This is the moment you realize how much of a I am. The enemies in this game terrify the crap out of me. Every time I try to play this game, when I see one, I accidentally close it. I get so scared, my fingers just go Alt F4 crazy. Even when I turn it back on and tell myself, don't close the game, don't close the game. Well, you can guess how that goes. I feel like this is one I really need to play with someone instead of completely by myself, which is what I have done, simply because I'm such a little bitch. That all being said, it just makes me love the game even more. You do have to survive, catch your own food, make your own water source, build your own base, and all of those great things that you need to have in a survival game. They just took the game so much further in the terror aspect, at least for me. I know some people that have played this extensively probably think I'm nuts, but the enemies are freaking terrifying. The premise here is that you were in a plane crash and now you have to survive on this island. There's more to it, but you need to play the game if you want to know more. They have a very unique way of handling death. Whenever you die, you're actually captured by these monsters and wake up hanging in a cave. And if you can make your way out, you get to continue your game. I will warn you, there are some fucking terrifying monsters in this cave. At least they terrify me, but if you're new here, you will come to learn that I'm not that hard to scare.
2. 7 Days to Die.
There comes a point in any survival game where you have your own sources for food and water, you have decent gear, and have stockpiled everything you could possibly need, so you feel like, for the most part, you're prepared for anything. Your chance of survival is pretty high. 7 Days to Die complicates that a bit by making the game become increasingly more difficult as the days pass. You will also have hordes of zombies attacking your bases, so you need to fortify yourself. All of the buildings and everything else you find is destructible. I have so many great things to say about this game. It's very straightforward, and you should definitely make a server to play with your friends.
Number 1. Osiris New Dawn.
This game is kind of an obsession for me right now. I will admit I don't own it yet because I'm cheap and waiting for a nice Steam sale for it, so I have not personally played it, but I have watched it being played a lot. As I did with most of the games on this list before buying them. I am in love with this one. I know it probably will trigger some people, for me and for a lot of people, to say lately that this is Subnautica in space, but that's a compliment. As I stated earlier, I freaking love Subnautica. The cost of building in Osiris can be a bit expensive in materials because you have to build all the walls after creating the base, but I actually like that. It adds more customizing and really isn't that hard to farm mats in this current build. Like a lot of great survival games, and 4 out of 5 on this list, you can survive with your friends. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the enemies. They are epic. They are large and do not hold back in the beginning of the game. You'll probably see one within your first few minutes of playing. Alright geeks, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is definitely one I want to check back with, so be sure to share your favorites below so I can include your message in a future video. As always, if you're new, be sure to subscribe, and everyone drop a like and share with your friends. Let's make this year the year of the geek. Alright geeks, I will see you next time.